So here's my banger. Okay, standard long wheelbase, large chassis banger. Now I intend on racing this one next weekend. It's second-hand shell, and they're always the ones that you should be worried about most because you never know quite what's underneath. But in the interest of being open, this is what I think is all fine, above board and legal. So we've got here a stretched limo. I think it's the only long wheelbase that you can use in under 2 litre classes. And tough old bird it is. We've got an A60 limo here. Now as you can see here, we've got standard 4 clips here to mount it. And this is a trick I like to use. Seen a lot of pro boys use it. Think it works well. I don't see why anyone's got an issue. But we've got here this little cable tie that holds my clip. So you can see there, I can't pull my clip out with that cable tie in. It's holding it in. Lots of people don't like that. I don't understand why. But all I have to do if I need to get in quick, so I could just use my snips there. I can pull him off. I'm trying to do this with one hand, which isn't quite so easy. Hang on. Oh, bugger. There he is. That'll come off now. And you can see then we can pull the clips out. And I think trying to hang on your clips is much better with a little cable tie than having the whole thing flapping about when you're trying to race. And that doesn't look right at all in my books. So as you can see there, we can take the body off now. And there's my chassis. Similar sort of deal. It's a long wheelbase, 3mm large hip. Fixing to go to 2mm. This is my new chassis for next year. It's a thinner 2mm one. We'll talk about that later on. I'll do a whole article on building up a banger. But as you can see, standard large at Speedo. Done the same thing as in my saloon. Rather than using the standard resistor in the Speedo, I've then got this remote resistor out here. Stops burning up the servo underneath it. Nothing else much really fancy to talk about. Standard gearing, standard plastic gears. You can see I use little clips there on the wheels just to kind of help stop the spur gears from snapping up on the axle or trying to keep drive if they do. Once again, we've got a little glitch buster capacitor wired in there. Nothing really fancy, no witchcraft there. Down at the front, standard wishbone, standard plastic Mardave items there. So that's all good. Got dirty wheels. And then also, in addition to that, we just got standard springs and my standard sort of center point for my steering. Don't see nothing wrong with that at all. And that's about it. You can see here that we've got 3 mounting points, but I only ever use 2 when I'm racing. Normally the front and back. And just a little word here whilst I'm talking about mounting points. You can also see I've just been and put this little extra plate here, just to extend the chassis. That basically means if you're running something with a boot and the body mounts come out at the back, that's a good place to finish it, I think. It's perfectly fine, legal within the BWS rules. So I'm using the 2 points there for mounting my car. Should the worst happen and the roof come off my my mould here, off my body shell, then what I might do in extreme situations is just draft in a third one to hold the roof on if it's fell off. But normally 2 points should suffice, and it's only in extreme situations would you use that third one. If we look at the shell here, and this is kind of where the biggest problems arise, is fixing shells. And as you can see here, he all split up round the headlights here, and if you look on the other side, you can see it all split round the front there as well, and there's a big crack down there. So some people only deem that as little ones, and you might think my reinforcing here to fix it may be a little over the top, but all it is just standard plastic out my box, maybe a wheel arch or a window or, you know, something like that that's cut out and just kind of offered in. And I'm just too lazy to cut it, and that's where it goes. So you can see here I've just tried to get a little bit in the corners there just to hold that split, and it was all flopping round, all loose like my washing on a line there at the front before. But now by just putting that in, it's just kind of added some rigidity to it, and it's just strengthened it up. Now this is a contentious thing. I'm not sure whether this is over repairing or not, but it has made it quite solid. And I will be honest, there ain't a lot of giving there at all. I'm trying to sort of flex it, and you can see it's pretty solid now. But I think really, you know, I wouldn't take this to an RC BWS meet and try and pass it off as a brand new shell. But here, racing at UCOR, I think that's a perfect fix for a domestic meeting. You can see here as well, if we go to the back, And you can see here, this fix is pretty shabby at all. It's not even touching in there. There's bloody millimeters out there. But it just helps kind of stop that flexing, because once again, this back corner, he was all split all the way up the back, all the way to the top there. And the same here on this side as well. So by putting this in here, he's just a little bit of a window section in there. You can see pretty crap again, a huge great gap in there. But you can see there he's fixed. And this was just once again a window that I had to hand in a meeting. And I've just smushed all this stuff in there with a bit of pipe weld there and a heat gun just to make it all pliable. And that's the only fixings in my shell. You see there's no pillars, there's nothing else in there. But that's what I would say would be a standard legal banger repair. And that's the way I would say would be a fair way of producing your car for UCOR. Once again, if you got any questions, leave it in the comments below. But there's my car for next week, A60 limo for racing at United Cornish Oval Racing. Thank you.